Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard products OV633A. This is what they call a perimeter seal. I'd probably call it a door sweep. I suppose depending on your application, you can use it as a perimeter seal. Here's what it looks like. This is a piece of aluminum with a bristle nylon brush insert. A very soft brush, that's for sure, and yet still rigid. You can see that when I run my hands over it, it comes back to its original position. I like bristle a lot, and bristle is very effective in a lot of applications. You have different insert types: vinyl, silicone, polyurethane, neoprene, company-specific variants of neoprene, synthetic rubber. You have bristle, you have pile. I like bristle a lot, and really where a hardware person learns a lot about hardware is from their clients. So I know bristle is a great option, not only because of what the manufacturer tells us, but because the clients tell us. Interestingly, the restaurant industry, the guys who own restaurants, they want bristle because they have learned, because of course, the regular schedule of being inspected. The inspector is looking for daylight under the door. Well, the restaurant guy knows the bristle is the one he wants because the bristle does a great job at sealing irregular surfaces. So if my fingers were to represent an irregular floor surface, like you'd have in a pitted concrete sill, okay? Bristle does a great job at sealing that up. And this OV633 from National Guard is still very soft. So it will not only seal very well, okay, but it will also not present a tremendous obstacle to your door closer, getting the door pulled closed all the way. So that's an application for bristle. I like bristle for that exact application. The logic with the inspector is if you can see daylight, the logic is critters can get through there, and that's what you're trying to prevent. If you stop the daylight, you probably stop the critters as well. Obviously, restaurants are tested, inspected constantly for that, naturally, as they should be. There is an image down below this video that shows the dimensional properties of this item. It's 1 5/8 overall height. We have 1 inch worth of bristle, and we have 5/8 worth of aluminum. Now that's going to very substantially handle your common 3/4 inch undercut, or 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch undercut, depending on what your sill condition is. You might be wanting to have a bristle a little bit longer if you don't have a threshold, I suppose. Whatever the case might be, this would be a good piece to use for that. Now, I don't really see how they're going to use this as perimeter gasketing, because if it was used as weather stripping, your door is going to butt right to the face of this. Generally, you'd have a bristle that would be at an angle like this, okay, at like a 45-degree angle. That would be appropriate for a door application, and one for an overhead door as well. I suppose you could also use it as an astragal if you had 2 of them, but it'd be a big piece of bristle to have on a door. You generally would use one smaller. So I'm going to see the OV633 used as a door sweep. The bristle from National Guard is going to offer excellent abrasion resistance, flexibility, and memory. Moisture resistant, resists insecticides as well, has a tremendous temperature range, and it certainly does. It shares properties of polyurethane with the abrasion resistance, shares properties with silicone with that huge wide temperature range, but really does a great job at filling all of the little nooks and crannies you might have, even on a threshold. If you have a threshold that has the grooves cut in the top crown of the saddle, you know, if your sweep comes over that, you really want to be able to fill all that in. Now, this is available in the A, which is clear anodized aluminum, the one we're looking at. B for a gold anodized. DKB for a dark bronze anodized. Okay, all 3 of those. This is also listed in the website in lots of different lengths. Before we get to that, there's a link below this video to a document called Installation Instructions. It is literally what is packaged with the material. It basically says measure, cut to length, install. What you have to be very mindful of is the holder that's down in here. That's not aluminum, that's steel. So don't put this in your 60-tooth carbide chop miter box saw. You're going to want to pull that out like I just did, cut that independently of the aluminum, because that's going to play havoc with your blade. Don't do that. Then once you get it cut, crimp that, because you don't want that to move during the installation process. Okay. So cut to length. The good piece of information that they give you there is the 7/64 of an inch drill bit to pre-drill the holes. Screws are included in a complementary finish. Now regarding the sizes, we have these listed in everything from 2 foot to 8 foot sizes, in generally 6-inch increments. You can order any size you want. Just order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field the net length you'd like for us to ship the material out at, because that will not only save you the trouble of having to cut it, but it will give you that first slotted hole at the proper distance from the edge, and then the proper center to center as well. Drilling a slotted hole in the field is naturally not easy, so it works to your advantage to have the factory cut it. They're cutting the material from long extrusion lengths anyway. The point of the matter is, slotted holes are nice to have because it will allow you to tailor the sweep on the door, bottom of the door, so that it can contend with a frame that's been kicked out. The door is actually warping. The sill is not plumb. It does something very odd in terms of all of that stuff. So you want to be able to tailor it a little bit on the bottom of the door. Plus, when you're pre-drilling your hole, that drill bit has a tendency to walk a little bit if you've not used a center punch, regardless of drilling into wood, steel, stainless steel, bronze, fiberglass, aluminum. You know, you'll want to use the center punch and get those holes drilled correctly. And then at that point, with the slotted holes, you can tailor it a little bit. There's also a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure, which is really handy because it will allow you to review lots of nylon brush seal from National Guard, who does a really great job with brush, as you can see. There's more to it than what they have than just what's listed here when it comes, of course, to weather stripping. In the world of brush, if you're looking for a door sweep, realistically, I think you could get away with the A605 in terms of size, depending on the distance from the bottom of the door to the top of your threshold. If you have an inverted bottom channel on your hollow metal door, that D648 could work perfectly for you. Measure that bottom channel, the inverted bottom channel of a steel door. You might be able to get that stuck underneath, and that's nice because you can conceal that really well. Or if you want to go belts and suspenders, use that with a surface-mounted sweep. Stop that infiltration right at its source, and then have a second layer of protection back there. The really epically huge ones that you see with the big holders, believe it or not, who orders that are the zookeepers for the elephant enclosure, or the people with airplanes and the airplane hangars, these giant sliding door assemblies. You'll need something really tall to get all the way down, but yet a big piece of aluminum on there as well. Believe it or not, those are the people who are calling for those pieces, and they're really big pieces of weather stripping. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the National Guard products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the National Guard OV633A, clear anodized aluminum nylon brush door sweep. And speaking of this brush, generally gray is the color of brush that they have, regardless of the color of the extrusion. That's not the case for every manufacturer. Some people, when you do gold or dark bronze, you're going to get black. When you do a mill or a clear anodized, you'll get gray. But that's not the case for sure with all manufacturers for all products at all times. If you have any trouble with it being gray, reach out to us first, because gray is what you're going to get. Sometimes it's available in black, so if you want that, but just reach out to us first, or at a very minimum, order it and then specify in the comment field. Ship with be sure to ship with black brush. And if there's a problem with that, theoretically, we'll reach out to you beforehand and say, no, there is a problem with that. It's not available. So we'll be happy to work with you. Any questions on this or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.